you ready to be scared? Halloween is my favorite holiday, so I've taken the time to do a little bit of research on how Halloween came to be and some safety tips that need to be remembered during this holiday season. Halloween is a very festive and enjoyable holiday, but there are a lot of dangers, so safety is very important. Today, we are going to discuss the history of Halloween, Halloween traditions and their origins, and safety tips for adults. Let's start with the history of Halloween. Around 2,000 years ago, the Celts had a festivity commemorating the end of the year. Their New Year's was November 1st, and this festival was called Samhain, the end of their year, signaling the end of summer and the end of the harvest season, and the beginning of a long, hard winter that often caused many deaths of animals and people. Weaker livestock was often killed and eaten during the holiday, since most likely they would not survive the winter anyways. Because of this, and the cruel winter to come, this time of year signified death to the pagan Celts. They believed the night before the new year that the wall between the living and the dead was opened, allowing spirits of the dead, both good and bad, to mingle among the living. Some of these spirits were thought to possess living people, cause trouble, ruin crops, or to search for passage to the afterlife. Now let's move on to Halloween traditions and their origins. Costumes. Dressing in costumes has its roots in the pagan Celts' roots of Samhain. One theory is that they dressed as ghouls to fool evil spirits let loose on October 31st, so they would not be possessed by these spirits. Another theory is that they dressed in costumes just for fun and to make mischief. Yet another theory is that the Fagors would dress as beggars and ask for food, which would also be the origins of the trick-or-treating. After the Catholic Church replaced Samhain with All Saints' Day, people would dress as dead saints and devils for their festivities. Trick-or-treating. This practice might have had its start in the legend from the Celts' day that would dress as beggars going from door to door begging for food. And those that did not show hospitality would be harshly dealt with by these magical fairies. On All Souls' Day, the poor would beg for soul cakes, sweet pastries, in exchange for prayers for their departed loved ones, expediting their passage to heaven. Sometimes consumed groups would sing and perform in exchange for food, ally, or money. In the United Kingdom, effigies would to be burned, prepared by children, going from door to door asking for a penny for Guy on Guy Fawkes Day. Bonfires. These have two origins. The first is the sacred ritual of extinguishing home fires, and one sacred bonfire is lit in each town for the end of the new year. Some say the reason home fires were extinguished is to scare away evil spirits from homes, while others say the home fires were supposed to be lit from embers from the sacred bonfire to start the new year. The second origin was from the Guy Fawkes Day in the United Kingdom, to burn effigies of the Catholic Pope and later of Guy Fawkes himself. Apples, a seasonal fruit, and also the symbol of the Roman goddess Helena, commonly thought at the time to possess qualities of knowledge, resurrection, and immortality. Bobbing for apples, peeling a long apple peel, and other manipulations of the fruit were thought to foretell the future. Jack-o'-lanterns, from the Irish folktale of Jack, who tricked the devil but was not allowed into heaven or hell. The devil, taking pity on Jack, gave him an ember to light his way on his eternal walk on earth, carried in a hollowed-out turnip. Because of their size and availability, pumpkins were substituted for turnips in the United States. The Celts did use a hollowed-out rumpage to carry an ember from the sacred Samhain bonfire home to light their home fires, but the significance and relation to the Irish tale of Jack is unknown. Ghost stories. Ghost stories probably had their roots in the original Celts' belief that the spirits of the dead, both good and bad, wandered the earth on October 31st, Samhain. Later, when the church replaced Samhain and with All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, the dead were remembered and spoken about. In the United States today, they are used to amuse and scare children and some adults to get them into the spirit of Halloween. While most of us enjoy the festive traditions of Halloween, it's also important for us to remember some holiday safety tips for adults to help keep the kids safe this year. Ghosts, ghouls, and monsters aren't the only thing to be afraid of on Halloween. Accidents and mishaps increase drastically when children trick-or-treat. To avoid many dangers children face while trick-or-treating, use common sense. Be aware of potential Halloween hazards and take precautions to eliminate them. Consider heading for an indoor Halloween party and bypass all the chaos and danger. Tips for Halloween costume safety. Wear flame retardant costumes. Hem your costume so you don't trip and fall. Apply reflective tape to your Halloween costume. Avoid masks. Use makeup instead. Double tie your shoelaces so you don't trip. Keep your costume and your wig away from candles. Trick-or-treating tips. Plan your route ahead of time. Trick-or-treat in familiar neighborhoods. Carry a flashlight with fresh batteries after dark. Always trick-or-treat in groups, accompanied by an adult. Follow a curfew and take a watch with a backlight. Stay on the sidewalks and out of the street. Cross only at intersections and designated crosswalks. Walk. Do not run. Watch out for open flames in jack-o'-lanterns. Walk with your head up and be aware of your surroundings. Only visit well-lit houses. Don't stop at dark houses. Don't enter a house unless you know the people. Don't approach unfamiliar pets and animals. Don't cut across yards and stay out of backyards. Avoid traffic. Follow traffic signals and don't jaywalk. Always watch for cars backing up and turning around. Review the stop, drop, and roll procedure in case your costume catches fire. Never accept rides from strangers. Don't eat any candy until it's inspected for tampering under bright lights. Small children should not be allowed to hard candy, they may choke. Report any suspicious or criminal activity. Consider having a Halloween party instead of trick-or-treating. So let's remember all these safety keys so we can have a fun-filled Halloween. And to review, we have discussed the history of Halloween, Halloween traditions, and some safety tips. The most important thing to remember, don't let the spirits of the dead of All Hallows Eve